Hey y'all, it's Ellarie with the yak. Looking like a bum from the neck down, but I'm back. Ew. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Ellarie here. Had no idea what to film today, but I did notice that on my IG videos, a lot of you guys were saying that you thought my liner skills were pretty impressive. Well, thank you. I remember a while ago on my channel, I just sworn liquid liner off. I called it the devil. I just felt like we were not compatible. It just would never work out between us. And I've gone from that to liquid liner being my favorite choice of liners to use when I do my eyeliner. And I've pretty much mastered it. I mean, I know that's kind of like, oh, sister, toot your own horn much? But I do feel like I have, and because I do it nearly every day. But I just thought I would do a video where I broke it down, showing you my two-stroke and go. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's called. It's called two strokes because it's like one stroke here, and then you just go on and fill it in. So it's a two-stroke and go. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just gonna break down to you how I'm able to do it and what you have to be able to do in order to do it. And I am gonna attempt to do it with a gel pot as well. That used to be my go-to before I gave my life to liquid liner. I haven't used a gel pot in a minute, but I know besides liquid, gel pots are like the next maybe more popular liner to use. So I'm going to show you both ways because it's definitely possible both ways, and you can choose which way works best with you. Before we do that, let's just make sure we're subscribed to her because she definitely appreciates every subscription she gets. She does. She isn't me. I appreciate it, and you know, I got 2019 goals, so make sure you guys are subscribed to my channel so you don't miss out on all the fun. And I'm gonna show you how I do my two-stroke. So I know you guys see me use a lot of the same products on my channel, and honestly it's really just because like when I find something that I like, I use it until it runs out, and then I start trying different things. So I may be stuck on something for months because either, you know, I just have the supply for it or the brand keeps sending it to me. So I'm like, well, if you're gonna give it to me, I'm gonna use it. Anyway, I say all that to say there are a lot of liquid liners that I love, that I like. Basically you just have to be super duper black and matte, and we pretty much go together, you know? So lately for me, I've been using the CoverGirl matte black liners. They're 320. They have one that is a vinyl finish, sorry. But I am matte. You know, you guys already know this. So this is the one I've been using lately because I always have some of these on deck, but there are a lot of great other matte liquid liners. If you guys can't find this one, I know NYX has a great one that I also get as well. So in order to get the liner prepared for the liner, it's really sharp. That's why I like this one, because it's matte, it's black, and it's really sharp, especially when it's new. After a while, obviously the sharpness of felt tips will kind of dull out, and you'll have to shake a lot to get a lot on the applicator, which is why I like them when they're newer. Same thing with gel pots. I feel like, you know, once you get halfway through, they start to dry out and you start having to apply something else to make it a little more liquefied. But it's still possible to achieve that two-stroke, okay? You just gotta, you know, put a little oomph in it. So this isn't super old. I've had it for maybe about a month. The tip is still pretty precise. A lot of it starts with how you get the applicator ready. So I take it out. Obviously, when you first take it out, it's gonna be super saturated, and especially if it's new. So if it's super saturated, I just kind of wipe the applicator on the sides to kind of get that really, really sharp point. But you don't want to wipe too much off to where you're taking all the product off of the applicator, because the more liquefied the applicator is, liquefied and sharp at the same time, the easier it's going to be for you to get that first glide nailed down. So I really don't even know how to describe this process. It's kind of like just saturated to the point where it's nice and saturated, but it's still pointy, if you know what I mean. So this is how it looks when I'm ready. You probably can't see how saturated it is, but it's nice and a lot of product on there, but it still has that pointy tip at the very end. So depending on the day, it really doesn't matter if I start from the corner of my eye out or the inside corner and out. I don't think that part is as important. I would say it's important depending on how high you want the wing to go. Like if you really want the wing to angle up higher, I would start here first just so you can have an ending point for when you do the top liner. Or if you're just doing a regular liner, it really doesn't matter if you start here or here. It really just depends on how the angle you want it to flick, you know what I mean? So my starting point is usually not all the way in the corner because I feel like when I start all the way in the tippy corner, I have like little tiny hairs right here. I've tried to pluck it, it hurts like shit. And I feel like my liner bleeds more the closer I go to the inner corner. So I just kind of stay out of that little nook and start a little further back. And once you have your starting point, you want to start there and it's pretty much go time after that. And also I would say if you are a blinky person, like you just blinkisha, like blinking Betty, this probably won't work for you. Like this isn't the only way to apply your liner. This is just the way that I do it, which is what I'm showing you guys. There's definitely a million other ways, even easier ways to do it. I'm just showing you up close and personal of how I do it. But if you're really blinky or your eyes water a lot or you have a lot of movement on your lid, meaning like you always hold your temple back to apply your liner, I'm not really sure how this is gonna work for you, but you know, you can always try it out and see if it does. But I wouldn't try it out on a day you need to go somewhere because you're gonna blink, you're gonna mess up your liner, and we all know that messes up your whole eye. All right, so I got my applicator just how I want it. Once I start at my starting point, I pretty much go until I feel like, okay, I'm not going the right way, then I'll stop. But if it feels like it's a great flow, I'll just keep going. So I'm gonna start about right here. And now that I got my starting point, I'm pretty much gonna wing it all the way out. I'm not even gonna speed this up. This is literally the speed I do. See, didn't even speed that up. And that pretty much is the whole important part, because now all I gotta do is connect this corner to that tip. So I always go back into here just to make sure, and the reason why you wanna make sure you have a lot of product on here is because you don't want to wing it out and then there's like spaces in between, you gotta go back over it, because that will lead to you sometimes making it too thick if you have to keep going over the line. So I'm just getting my brush the way I want it to be. For the bottom part, you don't need as much product just because it's a smaller area, but you still want to make sure there's something on it. Then I start from this outer eye area right in the corner of my eye to meet the end of that top liner. Just like that. I know it's easier said than done, trust me guys. But you guys wanted me to do this, so that's why I'm doing it. Now that I have the outline sketch, all I really do at this point is fill it in, and then if I feel like this isn't sharp enough, which is how I feel right now, I put less product on the brush to make this nice and sharp. So I'm going to show that all to you right now. Putting more product on the applicator, and I'm going to fill in the gap first. You want to be careful to stay in the line so you don't have to correct anything. And once I have that gap filled in, I just put a little more product on the brush to make the tip as sharp as possible. And then I start further in to the wingtip, just so that when I drag it out, it's kind of evenly. So I'm not starting right here and then, you know, the tip not being as even. So I start further in to do a line straight out. And the further I get to the tip, the less pressure I have on the applicator. I'm gonna start right here in the middle of the tip, sketch it out, flick it out, and do less pressure. So let's say you have that and you want a little too below or too on top, you can always clean it up. There's nothing wrong with cleaning up your your wingtip to make it nice and crispy. I usually always use my brow brush to do that because there's already product on it and I don't usually add any more to it unless I need to. Since there's already like concealer on my brow brush, I just use whatever's left from after I did my brows, if you do your brows before you do your liner. And you can just clean up the wing as needed. So I'm just gonna, I feel like even though it looks pretty good, it goes down a little bit right here. So I'm just gonna get that flat brush. You can make it flat by pinching it, start halfway and just flick it out gently. Boom! That's it. And obviously because I'm recording it, it took me, you know, a little more time than it normally does. But usually my eyeliner is like the quickest thing that I have to do in my whole makeup process. Like, you know, I do have bad liner days, but for the most part, that's usually how it goes. And it's gonna take practice, but I mean, you can't be afraid to practice with it or you're never gonna perfect it. So on this eye, I'm going to show you how to do it the same way, except with a gel pot liner, which is also maybe easier than liquid. I'm not really sure, just because I know how to do liquid so well. I feel like it's super duper easy. I feel like more so people prefer gel pots over liquid. So I'm going to show you how to do that as well if you're a gel pot user. One of my old time favorites is the 210 brush by MAC. I used to use that religiously. Smith Cosmetics has a great liner brush as well. There are a lot of brands who have a great liner brush. I personally prefer, I don't even have one to show you because I haven't used gel pots in so long. I don't even have a liner brush out. It's probably still packed. But I prefer the liner brushes where the bristles aren't super long, where they're kind of a little closer to the stem, just because I feel like you have more control over it because the bristles aren't flexing super hard. This is one of my favorite brushes from Zoeva. It is their wing liner brush. Even though I use this for my brows, this is what they call their wing liner brush. So it's great because it's super thin. It's cut really pointy so that you can get those sharp, precise lines. I have a lot of favorite gel pots as well. I use the Motives Little Black, I think it's called Little Black Liner Pot for a long time. I also love Inglots because I feel like it's one of the blackest gel pots out there. I think Maybelline has one too that I used to use. So there are a lot of great black gel pots out there. You just gotta kind of find the one that you prefer. I feel like all gel pots after a while need something to liquefy it because I feel like halfway through it dries up, which is kind of why I stopped, because I feel like liquid liners, I mean, until it runs out, it's pretty much usable. Gel pots, halfway through, you're gonna need something to kind of make it a little more creamy so that you get that nice glide. So, I haven't used this gel pot in a while. This is also from CoverGirl. Y'all know I'm stocked with CoverGirl, so. But since I haven't used it in a while, it's starting to dry out a little bit, or more than I would like. So, I usually just grab my Duraline. This is from Inglot, and it's pretty much just a mixing agent that you can add to liquefy your product and make it more waterproof. So a lot of people use these for their gel pots. I'm gonna add maybe 2 drops in here. 1, 2. I forgot how much this is, but it lasts a long time. Like, I've had this for a while, even though it's only supposed to last 9 months according to the bottle. So then I mix it up straight in the pot and kind of grabbing some of the product to make a little creamy creation. So after you have it mixed up and you have, you know, a supply that's nice and creamy, I mean, you don't have to like stir it like you're making pancakes or anything. It's just really the top layer, because look at all that I have on the brush. I then try to flatten out the brush on the sides just to get that nice thin point that I need. Still making sure you have enough product on the brush as you did with the liquid liner. I hate when I have those little tiny bristles in the front that stick out. I lightweight want to cut it, but I'm just going to try to ignore it. But sometimes those little stragglers will mess up the whole process. Alright, so I'm pretty much going to do the same thing. I'm going to have the same starting point on this eye, except now since I'm going to use the brush a little flatter, not gonna go right here where it's like a pencil. I'm gonna kind of tilt it down so that this sharp edge creates my sharp line. Plus, laying it flat, you get more coverage with the liner. So obviously the pointiest part is gonna go towards the corner of your eye, and you're gonna start by kind of placing that point to where you're gonna start. And I'm gonna do this motion here where I go around the curve of my eye, but I'm still kind of a little flat with the brush. If I do it this way, I'm probably gonna get more ripples. You know, I ain't got them young eyes no more. So this is gonna give me the most cleanest swoop. This is where I wanna start, make that little mark, and then it's go time. And even though I ran out of product towards the end, I could still see it. So it's gonna be easy to go back and clean that. So I'm gonna go back into the pot, adding and cleaning the brush at the same time. And now I'm gonna start midway through just so I can finish out that wing. It's a little ripply right here, so I'm just gonna slightly etch that out. You can add a little more to the corner if you didn't go all the way to the lash line. And now I'm gonna connect that wing. I barely applied any pressure to the brush to get that line. So now that I have the 2 strokes, I'm gonna just fill it in with as much product as I have left on the brush. And if you have to clean up, which may happen, you just do so as necessary. I don't feel like I need to do that on this eye, so it worked out. Otherwise, you would just clean it as I did this eye over here. Usually if I have to heavily clean my liner with my concealer, which is a cream, and my face is all matte and powdery, I'll clean it with a bit of concealer first, and then I'll add a little bit of powder on the brush to go over it, just so everything is all a powder finish. After that, there's pretty not much to do. Pencil liner to my waterline, add some lashes and mascara. So that's all it is to it. Let me put my ponytail over here so I don't look bullheaded. I know it's easier said than done, like I said before, but practice makes perfect. I've been doing my makeup for several years now. I'm doing the same technique for several years now, so obviously it's going to be, you know, a little bit easier for me, but it's also something that I did for the first time once upon a time. You know, I've done it repeatedly. That's why it's so easy to me now. Or do it however you've been doing it if it works for you. I'm just doing this video because y'all said how you do it, and I just showed y'all. That's how. So if you guys learned something from this video or you just enjoyed it, please let me know in the comments, and let me know if there's any more how-tos you guys want to see as well. I've done the makeup do's and don'ts. Remember, do's and don'ts is not real. It's just, you know, makeup preferences. I've done the eyeshadow do's and don'ts. So if there's anything else you guys want me to do or show you how I like to do, make sure you guys let me know in the comments. But that is all for now. Until next time, love you guys. Mwah.